How many women and men think it's normal? I've got some very good news today. It's not normal. It's not normal. And I'm going to show you how to get the balance back. As one woman said, thank you for giving me my daughter back. When her daughter turned 13, she said, horns grew. She was able to bring back the balance and the horns went in. Isn't that good news? The body's designed to heal itself, and it will heal itself if you give it the right conditions. So these are the problems, some of the problems that the pill is causing. Who was introduced to the pill? The baby boomers. How are the baby boomers now? How old are they now? 50s, 60s. Going through menopause. How are they faring? Terrible. Hot flushes. You see, estrogen is the capillary dilator. It causes the blood to rush to the skin, and the woman's gets hot, and the husband knows it because in the middle of the night, all the bedclothes are thrown off, and then soon they're pulled back on again. What is also happening as they're going through menopause with this disruption? Weight gain. So many women have this extra weight in their torso. So many women have said to me, I go on so many diets and I cannot lose this extra weight from around my torso. It's almost an impossibility if estrogen levels remain high because of its cell proliferator action. The woman has no desire for sex. And when she does have sex, it's very painful because the cells lining her birth canal are getting very thin and there is no lubricant. And she's depressed with not enough progesterone. She goes to the doctor, he gives her hormone replacement therapy. More synthetic hormones. Body thinks it's pregnant again, so the flushes stop, and the woman's very happy. One woman said, I'm a CEO of a big company. She said, I'm in the middle of meetings. All of a sudden, I'm getting hot flushes. I'm dripping perspiration. I've got a fan. She said, I can barely function. She said, I started taking HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Oh, she said it was wonderful. I no more had these flushes. But the hormone replacement therapy, that's all it does, stop the flushes. Body thinks must be pregnant. So instead of putting the energies to the skin, it goes into the breasts, into the uterus. 6 years later, the lady goes to the doctor with a lump in her breast. She has breast cancer. That's all HRT does is stop the flushes. It doesn't do anything about the weight gain, doesn't do anything about the desire or the discomfort with sex, doesn't do anything about the mood. So the doctor gives her antidepressants. More drugs. Drugs never cure disease. They just change the form and location of the disease. The doctor assesses this woman. It's confirmed she has breast cancer. He takes her off HRT immediately. Why? He knows. He knows it can cause breast cancer. So you say to the doctor, why do you do that? He said, this is his answer. He said she was suffering and it brought her relief. That is true. And not every woman will get breast cancer. That is true. I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in playing Russian roulette with my health, with my life. Unfortunately, in medicine, they're only taught that there's two options. You suffer or you take the drug with its possible side effects. I will show you of another option in this lecture. What also is causing the imbalance is meat. In Australia today, chickens, well, they used to be given growth stimulants, but not anymore. So what they do now is they genetically modify the chicken to produce more estrogen. No matter whether it's a growth stimulant or it's been genetically modified, if the human being eats that chicken, they are getting the growth stimulants. We had a young man do our program, and his mate had a brother, and his mate was 6'6" and the brother was 6'4", and their father owned a chook farm. Well, you call it a chicken farm. So if their father owned the chicken farm, what do you think they're eating every single day? Chicken. And the mother was 5'2.5" and the father was 5'10". Where did these 6'6" and 6'4" sons come from? It's the growth stimulants in the chicken. You see, this is causing chickens to be fully developed at the age of 5 weeks. We had a girl do our program who'd worked in the farms where they grow the chickens. She said sometimes they escape and they grow this high and they find them dead in the bush with their legs broken. You see, they get them to market before they grow any more. What about fish? Well, if you've got 80% of women on pill or HRT and the sewage is taken out to the sea, the fish are feeding on the sewage. They're finding female fish with male tendencies, male fish with female tendencies. What about red meat? It's against the law in Australia to give cattle growth stimulants, but we had a cattle farmer's wife do our program. She said the pharmaceutical companies are always knocking on our door, pushing the growth stimulant. She said we don't do it, but many do. It used to be that you could stop the growth stimulant 5 months before market and it wasn't picked up in the blood test. Today, it's 5 days before market and it's not picked up in the blood test. You see, if it's in the meat, it's in the product. But I have had some people who've come to me for help, never been on the pill, mother's never been on the pill, they're vegetarians. There's more. And that is plastics. When I was a little girl and a plastic bottle was left in the sun, it would go brittle and crack. They don't go brittle and crack anymore. That's because they contain nonylphenol. And nonylphenol is a chemical that's put in plastic to keep it soft. The molecular structure of estrogen contains a phenyl ring, and that phenyl ring is the key that unlocks the door to get into the estrogen receptor site. So can you see that this phenyl in the plastic gets into the estrogen receptor sites? Also bisphenol A, often called BPA. Bisphenol A is often found lining tins. So plastics can cause a disruption in the hormonal imbalance because they're estrogen mimickers. Often they're called xenoestrogens. You may have heard of that. What can also produce xenoestrogens is herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, also chemicals. A lot of chemicals break down to estrogen mimickers. So you can see someone can never have been on the pill and be a vegetarian and still have a hormonal imbalance because of their exposure to these things.